Hi guys, it's me, Kelsey. So we are here for part 2. I'm doing this in the same night that I did part 1, just because, like I said in the last video, I'm a mom of 3 and all my kids are in bed right now and I have the time. So we're here for part 2. I'm going to show you guys my everyday soft glam using my favorite products. I'm going to show you guys how I love to apply them. So first things first, I always start out with freshly washed skin and I'm moisturized, and I'm going to go in with primer first. So I have 2 primers that I love to use. The first one is by NYX and it's the Honey Do Me Up Primer. So I'm going to take this and it's so fun. Let me see if I can show you. It's like stringy, just like honey. It's super fun. So I like a super fresh and dewy makeup look recently. So this is fun. It's really slippy. I don't know if you can see that when you are rubbing it on the skin. And I pretty much like to put this everywhere on the face. And it starts getting like pretty tacky, which is nice because it's gonna hold your makeup on really good. And so then I got this as a sample and it's lasted for so long. It's the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. So I'm just gonna take, you literally only need like a tiny pea-sized amount of that. I'm gonna rub that together and I'm just gonna wrap this in these problem areas in my T-zone. This is an Anastasia foundation stick. This is in the shade Fawn. And I love this and I've been using it for a long time. I'm almost out. I'm gonna need another one. And I like to put this on before my foundation. Helps it blend in really nicely. And we just start the structure off in our face. I'm gonna take my foundation brush and super easy, I'm just gonna buff that out. On my forehead and buff that in, and you can already see the structure that is bringing to the face. So like I said, upward motion on those cheekbones. Blend that in nicely. You can be pretty messy with this since we're going to cover it up with foundation. Now these ones, I always just take my fingers and do that, and then once over that way. Okay, we're going to go in with foundation, and again for this video, because this is my holy grail, this isn't my super high glam foundation, but I absolutely love this foundation for an everyday makeup look. So this is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. It's the same foundation in the same shade. This is LW2 that I used in my last video. Now it's obviously pretty fair as I'm really light right now. So I love this. Comes on a doe foot applicator. I said that all in my last video. And you can just super easy put this on the skin. So once we got that on, I'm going to use my foundation. For this foundation in particular, I like to use the brush. So I'm going to use the brush and I'm going to stipple this out nicely. It has a super healthy, just like what it's called, a super healthy finish. And I just love the way it makes the skin look. So see how nicely and seamlessly that blends up into that contour up there? So easy. I like to go over my eyelids with the foundation even. I said this in the last video too, but in case you didn't watch it, I feel like my face, my neck, and my body and everything is pretty much a different shade. So I like to blend my foundation down my neck, on my ears, and depending on the top I'm wearing, just kind of take it anywhere you need to, just to make sure you're the same color everywhere. That's pretty important. I'm happy with the coverage on that. You don't need a super full coverage, especially once you add more products on top. So I feel like that just gives me a nice but still healthy, my skin looks natural and it still has a sheen to it. Next thing we're gonna do, and I know a lot of people don't mess with cream products, and I love these ColourPop blush sticks. This is in the shade Aloha. It is like a nice coral shade, and I see a lot of people, they put this on their hand. I don't want to waste the product. I see a lot of people put it on their brush. You don't get a very good coverage from that. Watch. It doesn't pick up my foundation. I haven't noticed that at all. Right along with that contour stick, I like to just stick that. And I don't do this on the nose, but I do like to just put that on the cheeks. And so with the same foundation brush, now if you're thinking this has our foundation, this has everything on it. So once you start patting, it's just gonna help blend everything together really nicely. You see how that just melts into the skin? I absolutely love these cream blush sticks. Now the skin just looks healthy, and you've not put any powders or anything to make you look heavy and cakey yet. So that's another advantage to the cream products, is you're still all in one step. And we're gonna do concealer. And so I told you in my last video that the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer is my absolute favorite concealer at the moment. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna put it on all the high points of the face. It's a super creamy, more liquidy texture. I absolutely love this concealer. It gives you amazing coverage without looking super cakey or heavy on the skin. So hit the high points, and then just because usually I am a little bit bougie, I'm gonna take the e.l.f. Camo Concealer because this is super brightening. I don't like to use this all under the eyes because it's a little drying, and they do have a hydrating one now that I've been wanting to try as well. Take just a little bit of this, and it's a little dried out, but you're gonna be able to see even just the brightness that brought to that inner corner. So I like to just pop this just there. So I know in my last video I used a brush to blend out everything in this step, but today I am going to use a dampened sponge just to get a little more coverage out of these products. Out and then up. I like to take it up onto my nose bridge right there. That's why when I first kind of drew that line. And then I like to take this as my eyeshadow primer and prep my eyes. Now you should be able to tell a difference. With the contouring and the cream blush, we have a little more structure to our face at this step than the first video, but we've also used 3 extra products, well 5 including the 2 primers, so we've used 5 extra products at this point in the second video than the first video where we only used 7 products total. And I'm going to set under the eye with the Maybelline Fit Me powder. Give me a layer, and I'm going to press it up onto the nose, on the side of the nose, and take it up that way. This is going to protect my foundation from any eyeshadow fallout I would have. And it's going to bake that concealer and just have it set really nicely, especially if I need longevity and I need my makeup to last all day long without creasing. You're going to want to set for powder. I just take the remaining. I don't usually pick up much extra. I just use the remaining because I do like to keep that dew to the skin if I can. So I'm just going to take very, very little, whatever powder is left on that sponge. This will be the first video I film. I'm super excited because the Jaclyn Hill first original palette was my ride or die. She's right on forever. She will be on my, she's dirty as hell. She'll be right on my vanity. So I just got the volume 2. So I'm super excited. And this palette, there are a ton of crazy colors, but I want to stay tonight up in this neutral just to play with them and see how it compares to the first one, because it was such a major staple and such a neutral, you know, just perfect. You could get literally so many different everyday makeup looks with that. So I'm super excited to try the Jaclyn Hill palette volume 2. Just to be simple, we're gonna take a big fluffy brush and we're just gonna pop into, this is the one I used the other day, super light neutral transition shade. So we're gonna pop this. Now we're just going super easy today. I like to take that into the bridge of the nose with no product left on the brush. I've not dipped into any extra. We're just gonna really buff that into that upper crease. Just a super light wash of color. So I like to take the remaining product and buff it pretty close to the brow and up into the outer eye. So next, we're gonna do Homeboy, because this is like a pukey brown shade and they're like my favorite. So I'm gonna dip into a little bit of that. These are super pigmented and I can see a lot of product coming off when I tap the brush off. Harsh lines, go back into the first shade, make sure you tap off, and go along the edges. Do that. We can use her white shade. I like to use this bigger fluffy brush with my brow color just to help smooth out those edges. I'm gonna go in with a more precision brush. Let's go in with G Money. It's more round. Let's see what this does. This brush helps get that color nice and deep into the socket without blowing it all up in there where we were using that big fluffy brush for. Happy with that. Just super neutral, super easy. But I like the fiery tones of that. It's super pretty. So I'm gonna use the concealer and I'm gonna cut my crease out. And I just take a little pencil brush and run that on the doe foot of my concealer. Brush to carve out my lid a little bit. You can just see the difference between how bright this eye is and this eye still has the shadow. Now we're gonna go in with the glitter, but I think we're gonna go with the gold. Get ready with me. It's super pretty. I might stick some of the lighter one in the corner. So I always use my finger for shimmers. It's just the way I like to do it. I don't keep nails, so it's super easy for me to apply them that way. And the payoff is so much better. Oh, yeah. That is so pretty. So once you get the bulk of that on, and you just pretty much have like just a little bit left, you can use your finger. Your fingers are your best blending tools, and kind of blend those shimmers up and out. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that shade. All right, if you want to intensify just a little bit, you can just take a little bit more and stick it right on that high point. That is so pretty. I'm literally in love with how that's looking. So, I'm going to, same as my last video, take my L'Oreal Lumi bronzer and my big bronzer brush, and we're just gonna brush up the perimeters of the skin. So I like to take this, especially back here on the jawbone. These quarantine snacks got me a little snacky, I think. And take that down the neck. Depending on the top you're wearing, you can brush, you know. Okay. So when I'm feeling nice and bronzy, one thing I like to do, super easy too, is take that brush and kind of pinch it a little bit and start defining my nose a little bit without being too harsh. If I have one extra second and I just want to go from, especially, you know, with the eyeshadow and everything, I just want to go one step further with the bronzer. I have this Maybelline Master Bronze bronze and highlight kit, but I have this Lancome brush. It's just a little bit smaller, and I'm going to take the darkest shade just to do my cheekbones just a little bit more. And maybe just a tad. This brush is a little more fluffy and loose than the last one, so you're not going to get as precise of an application. And I like this darker shade on the bottom of my nose. And maybe there. And then this is a cool dual-ended brush. So I like to take that side around and dip it into the lighter shade, and again, make sure you tap that off, and we're gonna just do the sides of the nose just a little bit. All right, now watch this. This is a fun part. So I cannot use my favorite Ride or Die. This is the Alamar Cosmetics. This is the medium, like the middle one, blush palette. I love this. This first shade, it's called Seclusion, and it's like a peach, and it's my absolute favorite shade. I said that in the last video. So I'm gonna take my blush brush, and the cream blush that we put on is hiding a little bit. So like that cream blush under there, and once I put this on top, it just really, and the same thing with bronzer and the cream contour, is I just feel like once you put your powder product on top, not only does it stand out more, but it's gonna last longer throughout the day, and not just with, especially the powder, just fade away. So we can take a little bit of the blush, put it up here in the temples too. We're gonna make sure we have a good blush going. Just, that's all just warming the face up. And so I said in the last video, I cannot not blush my nose. I'm addicted to blushing my nose, and especially right on the apples. I feel like this gives you a really youthful look to the face. So we're gonna really blush the apples. Okay, now if you get to this point and you're like, oh my gosh, my blush is a little strong, I always take that powder brush and just make sure everything is blended together nice. Fine. So I'm pretty happy with all that. Time to highlight. I'm going to use a different highlight in this video. I'm going to use the highlight from the Master Chrome collection. I really like this. I feel like, and you'll see here, it gives you a super, super, super nice glow to the skin. It's definitely bright, but then I like to take this brush, and I love this highlighting brush. It's Jacqueline's. Just do the cheekbones for sure. and it's super fluffy, so you don't like get a big blob or anything. It just really blends into the skin perfectly. So take that. I like to take it on the nose, definitely on the tip of the nose, and with no more, I'm not dipping back in. Highlighting up there and here, and then maybe dip in and hit your upper lip. There we go, and the nose. Okay, now one more step that I always like to do, same thing that we did the powder. I really like my blush to blend in with my highlight. So I just like to take my blush brush again and make sure that those are both kind of blended seamlessly together. Okay, I'm gonna really quickly do my brows, but I'm going to speed through this, but I'll tell you what I'm gonna do really quick. I'm gonna use my favorite brow product, especially from the drugstore. This is the Maybelline Brow Define and Fill Duo. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, but I love it because you get product on both ends of the stick, so you get a bang for your buck on both sides. The first side is a brow powder, and the second side is a skinny pencil to fill in. Hit it with a little gimme brow, and then I'm gonna brush it out with the spoolie. So I'll speed you through that, but I'll let you guys watch. Okay, brows are done. Now we are going to do a lower lash line quick, tie that all together. Really like to blow my lower lash line down pretty far. Just mixing a mixture from the top, the Perfectionist and the Homeboy shade. Just blend that into that outer area that we buffed as well. Okay, now my only complaint with the palette would be it doesn't have a dark brown, but I can solve that problem. I have a little brown eyeliner pencil, so I'm just going to tightline the bottom and the top. Okay, that gave us just a little bit of depth. So I'm just going to take that powder brush one more time, make sure we didn't get any fallout from that shade, and I am pretty happy, and I think we are pretty much done with this makeup look. So, last things almost last, other than mascara. Oh, we need inner corner highlight, duh. And there is so not a shade in the Jaclyn palette that I want to use. So we'll just use the same highlighting shade we used on our face. Beautiful. It's a nice golden, so that definitely brightens up that inner corner. There we go. How do you live without an inner corner highlight? Okay, let's set it and forget it. And I will show you my setting routine. So go ahead and take your Urban Decay All-Nighter. A nice coat of that. And then I have this vitamin C. It's just a facial spray. but to me, the more liquid at this stage, the better. And I just fan that off. And then I like to take my dampened sponge and tap all that into the skin. And at this stage, I love the way the skin looks. Everything is nice and sunken in, and we're ready to go. So I'm going to quickly do some mascara. Let's see what I want to use. We're just going to use one of my favorites. This is, it's not a full size, I don't think, but it's not like the mini either. This is the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I really love this, both for the bottom and the upper lashes. So let me just apply this really quick. Okay, we got our lashes on. We have our mascara on. I don't ever really feel the need to wear lashes. I feel like my natural lashes are long enough, and with a good mascara, I feel like I get good enough results. So if you ever, I have one little fleck here, just go ahead and use that spoolie that you used earlier. And just lightly brush and it'll come right off. If you feel like you disturbed anything, just use your brush. Okay. The only other thing I feel like we could do, just because, this little one will be good. Just highlight the brow bone just a little bit. This looks pretty extra. Okay, let's do a lippy real quick. I'm going to use Maybelline's Baddest Beige. This is my absolute favorite lip combination. So I'm just going to line my lips, stick this lipstick on, get my mirror. Okay guys, we have it. Let me take my hair down. What do we think? This is look number 2. Now you could do the face steps with the other cream products, the little more contouring, the contour stick, and filling in the brows a little bit more, and leave the eye off, and you would be at like my step 2.1, and this is like step 2.2 with the eyeshadow and everything. But I wanted to play with my palette and do a little bit of a look for you guys. So this is pretty glam, and this would definitely be considered pretty glam for most people, but I love eyeshadow and I love super bright eyeshadow, so this is definitely something that I would feel comfortable wearing pretty much any single day, no matter where I had to go. So definitely let me know what you guys think of the look, think of the skin. Do we like step 2.2? Do we like just super fresh, the first step, which, you know, that's super nice too, especially if you're just, you know, running wherever. So that completes this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something. I hope I showed you guys the way I do my everyday makeup. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you check out my third. We're gonna go even more glam than this, believe it or not. I can throw in more steps and more products, you believe me. Make sure you guys stay tuned for my next video and subscribe to my channel. Please follow my social media and give me a big thumbs up at The Kelsey Co. Thank you guys again for watching. Bye guys.